Vox-Prajna.
What is gender hierarchy? Gender hierarchy refers to the system of social organization and cultural norms that privileges certain genders over others, often resulting in unequal power dynamics, roles, and opportunities based on gender. This concept is deeply rooted in the broader framework of social hierarchies and gender relations, and manifests through various forms, such as cultural norms, legal systems, and economic structures. At its core, gender hierarchy is founded on the notion that different genders inherently possess different characteristics and roles. Historically, this has commonly resulted in a patriarchal system, where men are typically afforded more power and status compared to women. However, gender hierarchy is not limited to the male-female binary but extends to all genders, including those who identify as non-binary or transgender. Here are some key aspects. Patriarchy. Traditionally, gender hierarchy has been closely associated with patriarchal systems, where men, especially in their roles as fathers or family heads, hold primary power and predominate in roles of political leadership, moral authority, social privilege, and control of property. In many societies, this has led to systemic favoritism toward men and discrimination against women. Gender roles and stereotypes. Gender hierarchy is perpetuated through prescribed roles and stereotypes. For instance, men are often expected to be assertive, strong, and financially responsible, while women are expected to be nurturing, passive, and focused on domestic roles. These stereotypes limit individual potential and reinforce gender-based inequalities. Economic inequality. Gender hierarchy manifests in economic disparities. Historically, men have had greater access to education and employment opportunities, leading to a gender wage gap. Women often engage in unpaid domestic work or are employed in lower-paying jobs. Political and social representation. In gender hierarchies, men are typically overrepresented in political and corporate leadership roles. This underrepresentation of women and other gender minorities in decision-making positions perpetuates a cycle where the interests and issues pertinent to these groups are less likely to be addressed. Healthcare. Gender hierarchy affects healthcare access and quality, with certain genders sometimes receiving less attention or facing biases in treatment. Legal systems. Legal systems often reflect and reinforce gender hierarchies, with laws that may discriminate against certain genders in areas like property rights, inheritance, or personal autonomy. Intersectionality. The concept of gender hierarchy intersects with other forms of social stratification, such as race, class, and sexuality. This means that within the gender hierarchy, some groups of women or men may experience compounded forms of discrimination or privilege. Cultural and institutional perpetuation. Gender hierarchy is maintained and transmitted through cultural norms, education, media portrayals, and legal systems. For example, media often perpetuates gender stereotypes, while laws and policies might historically favor men's rights, particularly in areas like inheritance, employment, and bodily autonomy. Challenging the hierarchy. Feminist movements and gender equality advocates challenge gender hierarchies by promoting equal rights, questioning gender norms, advocating for policy changes, and raising awareness about the impact of these inequalities. There's a growing recognition of the fluidity of gender and the need to dismantle rigid gender binaries. Global variation. The extent and form of gender hierarchy vary globally, influenced by cultural, religious, economic, and historical factors. In some societies, the hierarchy is rigid and strictly enforced, while in others, there's a greater push towards gender equality. The consequences of gender hierarchy are profound. It can lead to systemic inequalities, discrimination, and violence against marginalized genders. Moreover, it restricts individuals of all genders from reaching their full potential by imposing restrictive roles and expectations. Understanding and addressing gender hierarchy is crucial for achieving gender equality and ensuring that all individuals, regardless of their gender identity, have equal opportunities and rights. Combating gender hierarchy involves challenging and changing these deep-seated norms and structures. This includes promoting gender equality in all sectors of society, addressing gender biases, and ensuring equal representation and opportunities for all genders. It's a process that requires both societal and institutional changes, as well as a shift in individual attitudes and behaviors.
Book scratching.